and good morning wherever you are. This is Highland Makori. As usual, I'm coming live to give you the update of what's going on about Margaret Nduta. Guys, this is now so serious, serious. I know I was defending her the first time. Um Before we got the full information. Now the court record is out there, and guys, what that lady did was not good. Let me say, most likely she wasn't smart enough. I don't know even how to put it. Margaret Nduta Masharia. So guys, this is what we have. The court records are out, and from the court record she contradicted herself, and that's why they came up with a guilty sentence on her. Okay, so we all know Margaret Nduta Machar is a 37-year-old Kenyan lady. Yes, on July 2023 she left Kenya for Laos. Okay, she left Kenya for Laos. She never reached Laos. In Vietnam, she was arrested. So this is what we have. Just listen to me. Thank you so much for those who have joined my online session, and thank you. Please keep me company and listen to the end. What I have to tell you is really pretty shocking. Hey, this is serious. But at the end of it, you know what? We know we have a God of a second chance. I don't know if this one is gonna be a second chance. So remember, when she was arrested, she claimed that she was hired by a man who was only known as John. Right? I remember that's the story we had when the sentence went on. She was hired by a man called John, and she was to deliver a suitcase. She was carrying to another woman, and she was paid $1,300. Okay, that's equivalent to 165 Kenya shillings, 65 or 67 Kenya shillings. Yeah. So she told the court initially that she managed to avoid detection at JKIA, Ball International, that's Ethiopia, and then Hamad, that's in Qatar. Okay, there was no detection until she arrived in Vietnam. Okay, so this is now the latest development. Listen, please listen carefully and be the judge. Okay, listen and be the judge. So she said she was looking for a job. And she got help. She got help. She got an agent called John Njoroge. Okay, she got help. John Njoroge promised her to get her a well-paying job in Saudi Arabia. Okay, so John promised her to you will get a well-paying job in Saudi Arabia. So she says, as they talked, so 1 week later, John calls her and says, her passport is ready. So they were to meet in a Sarit Center the following day so that she can get her travel documents. Listen carefully. So the following day, 10:30 a.m. So listen, I'm reading this from the transcript. So it says she had 5 hours of defense. Yeah, Margaret had 5 hours of defense, and it was recorded. And the judge was Ding Gong Huang, who presided over the case. So when her testimony was recorded, and this is what she said, that she says that she was desperately looking for a job abroad to support her child and family. In her search, she encountered a man called John Njoroge, who promised her a well-paying job in Saudi Arabia. And they assured her that he would cover all the expenses. And then in about 1 week after they met, John called her and said her passport is ready now. They can meet in Sarit Center in Nairobi so that she can get her travel documents. So they met in Sarit around 10 10:30 in the morning. Yeah, she arrived there earlier, and it was 10 in the morning. Then she arrived there earlier, and then John drove himself there. She went and joined him in his car, and they sat there for almost 1 hour. Listen, 1 hour, Margaret and Nduta was seated in John's car, and they were talking about her travel. Okay, so during the conversation, John introduced her to another offer. During their conversation, and he said, he told her that she needs to complete her small assignment of transporting a briefcase to Laos before proceeding to Saudi Arabia. Okay, and she will be paid $1,300. That's 7,000 Kenya shillings. She hesitated, but money was too enticing. So anyway, her main goal was not Saudi Arabia. It was financial stability. So, and this money would address her immediate financial concerns. That is what Margaret was saying. And then, as they were traveling, she said, as they were leaving for JKIA, so they went to meet in Sarit, and they are leaving for JKIA same day. Listen to me. Same day they're leaving for JKIA when she was going to get her travel documents. As they were going to JKIA, John received a call. Listen what she's saying. John received a call, and he was responding with short responses. Okay? And she continues to say that after the call, John told her that the plans have changed, and now instead of using JKIA, she's going to Ethiopia. Lord have mercy. The plans have just changed. We are not going to JKIA. So John brought the passport, which had a visa to Laos. The passport had a visa to Laos. Okay? And then here she is. They're going to the airport. That's what she's saying. And then John says, plans have changed now. We are not going to JKIA. You will go through Ethiopia. So what we'll do, due to unforeseen circumstances, so what we'll do, we'll look for a place. They look for a hotel in Nairobi. They took two rooms, separate rooms, and then that was around 2 p.m. Then John tells Margaret, hey, I'm going to Kenyatta Market. I have an assignment in Kenyatta Market. I'll be back. So he left her with 1,000 for food, 1,000 Kenyan shillings for food. So he left her. She stayed in the hotel. Okay. So John left, and then she says around 10 p.m., her phone rang. It was John who told her to. It was John who called her, and he told her to sleep early, since they will wake up earlier the following day to start their journey to Ethiopia. Okay, John told her to sleep early. So, and she slept. And then at 4:30 a.m., they woke up 4:30 a.m. and they prepared. John woke her up 4:30 a.m. They prepared, and then he told her they're driving to Isiolo, where she's going to board a bus to Ethiopia. So she says, along the way, as they were traveling, John was still talking to the same person whom he was talking to the previous day. So they're traveling they're on their way to Isiolo to take a bus to Ethiopia, and he's still on phone talking to this guy. Okay? Remember, she said she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know what she was carrying, right? And she was listening to the conversation this John Njoroge was having with the person as they drove all the way to Isiolo. So she says they arrived at 9:45 in Isiolo, and while there, John instructed Nduta that now she'll have to travel on her own to Bole International Airport, and John took her to the bus and paid 7,500 Kenya shillings for the ticket. to Addis Ababa, okay? The bus was to leave at 2 p.m. and John told her that once she arrives at Bole International Airport, she will meet someone who will give her a suitcase. Remember, I'm reading, these are the court documents. Okay, these are court documents, not fabricated, but from the court what they have. So John told her she will go to Addis Ababa and someone will receive her there. And then he told her he told her she will meet someone who will give her a suitcase. Someone will give her a suitcase once she arrives there, okay? The Selam bus departed at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. the bus departed from Isiolo, and after 15 hours, they arrived in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. 5 minutes. She says 5 minutes. She was really good at recording the timing, yeah? 5 minutes after, she says 5 minutes after arriving in Ethiopia, a mysterious person arrived and picked her from the bus and took her to Bole International Airport. So a mysterious person came and picked her from the bus and took her to Bole International Airport, okay? So she says, when she, at the airport, so once they were there, they met another individual. Once they arrived at the airport, they met another individual who was waiting with a briefcase. And he handed it over to her. So she got the briefcase from a person in Ethiopia. So this is a mysterious person, okay? John called the individual and the person gave the phone to Nduta, and John talked to her and gave her instructions telling her that she's going to Lagos, and once she arrives in Lagos, she's going to meet someone who will take the luggage from her, okay? And again, John asked her to look at her phone. When she looked at her phone, she saw some M-Pesa transactions, 3 transactions. One was for 65,000. Another one was 52. 2 of them were 50,000 each, and then one was 65,000. That makes it 165,000 Kenya shillings. Okay. So she saw the money, and then she left for and then she stayed. In fact, she stayed in Bole for some time before her flight. Before her flight left for Qatar. Okay, and then as she was there, so remember she said she doesn't know. She really didn't know what she was carrying. As she was in the court, they asked her whether she has ever traveled. She was asked if she has ever traveled, and she said no. No, this is my first time. Okay? And then she was asked how did she get the passport. She said John arranged everything. John arranged everything. And she said the passport was ready in 2023. Sorry about that. sorry about that. So it says how she acquired their passport. She says John arranged everything, and like the passport was ready within 1 week in 2023. Okay, so when they talked within 1 week, John got the passport for her with everything. Okay, that's what she said. That's what she said in court. Okay, and then so, however, contrary to her claims, remember she has lied already here. She has said she has never traveled out of the country. So they said, contrary to her claim, the passport showed that she acquired her passport in 2014. 2014 is when she acquired her passport. And then they say in January 2015, she traveled to Saudi Arabia, where she was contracted to work until January 2017. So she was there for 2 years. But There was no record return to Kenya in 2017 when she was supposed to leave Saudi Arabia and then return to Kenya. There was no record showing that. So it says in April 2021, she traveled directly from Saudi Arabia to Ghana. Okay, she traveled from Saudi Arabia to Ghana, and the court found out that Nduta had lied about ever having traveled before and how she obtained her passport, because now the passport is not for 2023, the passport is from 2014. Okay, and also her flight history from Saudi Arabia to Ghana raised suspicions. Remember, she traveled. It's crazy. Also, it's really mind-boggling because she traveled to Saudi Arabia in 2015. Okay, she was to leave 2017. There's no record when she came back to Kenya from that place. No record at all. There's no record when she left Saudi Arabia and came to Kenya. 2017, she was supposed to come back to Kenya, but she didn't. There's no record about that. Okay, and then they say so they said, so there's no record that she came back from Saudi Arabia to Kenya. It didn't show like she came back to Kenya. That she was supposed to come back in 2017, but she never came back to Kenya in 2017. In April 2021, she traveled directly from Saudi Arabia to Ghana. She traveled directly from Saudi Arabia to Ghana. The court found out that Nduta had lied about that. So if she traveled to Ghana, I remember this just the day before yesterday, Nation Media brought out a news. There's talk of this pastor, is a white pastor who is in Hong Kong. He's a missionary pastor who is in Hong Kong, who said it's not his first time to have seen Nduta. He had seen her in a court in Ghana, in a jail in Ghana. I mean, not a court, in a jail in Ghana. And then they say there's a lady who wrote a letter and said, please don't let her be killed. We were arrested together in Ghana, but she was bailed out. And me, I stayed there. They needed a room and she was bailed out. So now those things are adding up. And I remember initially people were mad at NTV. But you see, the truth is coming out, okay? I wish she was truthful from the word go. She couldn't be in this mess. Like, she really contradicted herself of never getting out. I don't know if she ever noticed that the passport gets stamped when you travel in airport. So her passport is from 2014, but she said it was a new one. So I don't know what she was thinking, what she was really having in her mind when she said that. That proves that she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was carrying. She knew the kind of business they were doing with John. Yes, that proves, because when you start lying and covering up, it shows you are covering on something. You know what's happening, and that's why the court found her guilty. It doesn't show when she left Saudi Arabia. So she's been to Saudi Arabia before. And I remember there's a lady who said she was to be a returnee to Saudi Arabia. She had worked in Saudi Arabia before, so she was going to be a returnee to Saudi Arabia. Okay, and so that was 2023. The family kept quiet. From 2023, they never talked of anything that our daughter has been arrested until March 6th, when the sentence was made that she was going to be killed on the 17th. The family kept quiet. Why would the family keep quiet? Did they know of what she was doing? And I remember the Nation Media called the family, and they talked to her twin sister, and they asked her, they asked her if she had ever traveled out of the country. The sister was really rough. She was rough with the Nation Media. She told, hey, don't ask me that. She has never. People are saying lies. My sister has never left the country. Yet she knows very well the sister left. Passports don't lie. There are stamps which show which country you've traveled to. The problem here we have, it doesn't show when she came back to Kenya, okay? It doesn't show when she came back to Kenya. And the family kept quiet. They never reported that our daughter has been arrested in Vietnam. They kept quiet until the sentence was passed. And I'm sure she used to communicate with the family. Yeah. So, guys, this story of the passport, I think, is what made the Vietnamese people believe that Nduta was very much guilty because she was trying to cover up for John. Okay, she really tried to cover up by saying she doesn't know what she was carrying when that was found. She didn't know what she was carrying. Okay, she pretty knew she was carrying. I'm not praying that she be killed. No, one thing I believe, God is a God of second chance. But one thing I pray is that she be maybe sentenced to life or something like that, but not to be killed. And then I believe Nduta is a small fish. We have the big fishes. That's why using people like Nduta. What is the government going to do about it? Has the government done anything about it? She needs to give out full information of those people she knows. The government needs to look for them and get them. Her phone, I'm sure still the information they can get from her phone, and that one will be able to help the government track these drug dealers in Kenya. But do you know the pain parents go through when their children are using those drugs? Do you know the pain? Do you know how bad these drugs are? Do you know how bad these drugs are? Very bad, pretty bad. They're dangerous drugs. These drugs can kill, okay? So, Nduta, as you have heard, Nduta said her main interest wasn't even to go to Saudi Arabia. Her main interest was to have financial stability. And when she was offered a small assignment to deliver a suitcase to Laos, she was like, and she was given a lot of money. She said, oh, this is a lot of money. I've never had such big money in my phone. So she was so excited and went. That's according to her. But if you listen, if you really analyze the conversation or the court records, the way they are put down there, they're recorded, this lady definitely knew what she was doing. But we just pray for mercies, God mercies, like God intervene. Oh, and by the way, the good news today is the government people traveled there today and they saw her and they say she's trying to adjust. She's recovering from the shock and all such stuff. It's not been easy for her and it's never going to be easy, my friends. It's not easy when you're caught in our drug 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 trafficking in a far country. It's not going to be easy, okay? Never going to be easy. So she was to be killed on Monday, but she wasn't killed. She was spared, okay? So I was wondering why why isn't there a stamp if she when she came back from wherever she went, when she came back to Kenya, the passport that doesn't show. So I got some information which says she was imprisoned in Saudi Arabia and in Ghana, okay? And so what happens when you are deported, deportees don't use their passports, okay? Most of the times they are given letters to go with. So for Nduta, I don't know where she put that letter. I'm sure the government could be having a record of that. So you are given a letter informing them that you'll be kicked out of the country. When deportees arrive, so someone was saying from Kenya, like when deportees arrive back in Kenya, they sometimes undergo special procedures at the airport and they will not go through immigration, so their passports are not stamped on arrival. So definitely someone knows this lady has been doing this or has done it before. So it wasn't her first time to travel. She's traveled before. I know it pains. It pains. I feel for her parents. I feel for her family. I feel for her child. I feel for her sibling and everybody involved. It's not easy. Imagine considering all, trying to think that your kin is going to be killed in a country far from you. Okay, a country far from you. It's not easy. You can't even see them one more last time. So guys, what I wanted to let you know today is that it is true, as nation media reported, Nduta has been out of the country before. The passport has evidence. But she decided to lie. I don't know why she decided to lie about her travel history. I don't know if it's ignorance. I don't know if she didn't know the passport keeps track of her travel. Honestly, I can't tell why she did that, but that was a silly mistake, and it's gonna cost her. Okay. Right now, if you could see how Musalia Mudavadi's face looked when he was talking about it, it's not an easy thing. Let me tell you, dealing with another country, with all those things, with things, drugs, not easy. Their country kills even their citizens if they are involved. So what makes you better than them? Okay? So let's learn to say no to drugs. And even if I know poverty makes people to do wrong things, but we need to know that choices have consequences. They can be negative, they can be positive, but choices have consequences. And with all this information she had, I'm sure even when they were talking on phone, even if she has never traveled before, she could have suspected there's something fishy here, even if you've been given the money. If people are talking, whatever they were talking is in relation to your travel, you could have picked a word or two helping you know it's wrong so that you can cancel the trip. I don't think a gun was put on her and told, hey, you have to go. No, it's just money. And honestly, she's been this before. Also, the girl who was pleading, she said, Nigerians, when Nigerians, yeah, okay. They say Nigerians, when they're dealing with you, they won't let you go. They'll threaten you. They'll tell you, we'll kill your family, we'll kill you and your family. So you have no choice other than obeying them. But here I see she's dealing with Kenyans, John in Njoroge. And remember, initially she said she doesn't know, she only knows John, okay? But now here she has information it's John in Njoroge. John in Njoroge written in Vietnamese. Please, I'll put that link where you can get more information on the story. I'll attach it after the end of this live so you can see the story. It's so sad that she allowed herself to be used by this guy or guys, whoever they are. I feel for her, I feel for her family, but let's learn to say no to the drugs. And this thing, I don't know, I've seen many men of our Kenyan ladies, those who have been arrested outside the country, mostly are Kenyan ladies. I don't know what's going on with us, okay? We need to change our ways. I know money is good, but when it comes to dealing with funny stuff that will cost your life, we need to think twice. Okay, let's think twice before we continue doing these things. So, my question is, she was arrested in 2020, in March. She was arrested in 2023, July, but the family kept quiet. Maybe they were hopeful that she would be released. They only came to talk when the sentence has been passed. They were also somehow not honest, okay? I hope they didn't know that she was involved in this thing, okay? And as we saw her travel, she had only that one briefcase. So from Nairobi, she didn't have anything of her own. She was just having the passport. Then she reached there, she was only having that small briefcase suitcase she was given. So she didn't have much. So even you carrying 2 kg in a briefcase, maybe you had clothes on top, you will definitely tell this briefcase is heavy. You can tell there's something fishy. Yeah, it had a false bottom, where they inserted those drugs. Okay, I'm sure she definitely knew this thing really heavy. This is not normal, but she decided to just go ahead with it. You know, the love of money is the root of evil. Yeah, we all love money, but love it moderately. do what is right, okay? It costs us. We've lost money because sometimes we are put in this thing called pyramids. We think we are going to have more money. We join. I know I did myself. I lost almost $100,000. It's a story for another day. So guys, let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's do the right thing. Drugs kills. Drugs are not good. Say no to drugs, and we will save ourselves. For Nduta, she has traveled before. She went to Saudi Arabia. I think she was arrested in Saudi Arabia. I don't know. She managed to survive. She was deported. I don't know why she was deported to Ghana instead of Kenya. Then from Ghana jail, she was sent to. She came to Kenya. So definitely she's been in this before. Yeah, but that's all we can say. But we pray for her safety. We pray that she be left to live for another chance. She be given another chance. God is a God of a second chance. Hope she get another chance. This might not be a second chance. It might be a third chance. She might be lucky to go through it. But we pray for hope. That's all. Until next time, guys. Thank you and bye bye.